and hopefully this is us. Apart from Joe, who's still on his other camera. Right, and we're gonna wait for sound confirmation. But I think we're all here. We just had to cut James off there mid-flow. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah. You've got sound. We're okay.
We got sound. Okay, here we go. So hello, welcome to Band of Badgers. I am Dave, your host for this evening, and this is the Great British Brush Off. And joining us around the paint pot once again is returning pro artist James Regan.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me again.
It's great. It's nice to first of all, we say this every time that you're on, but it's fantastic to have someone in the same time zone, which is great. Because when we get tired, everyone just goes to bed, which is ideal. Because then they go, yeah, I'm going out partying now. It's like, you bastards. It's like 1 a.m. I've got to go to bed, which I really miss. But James is a fantastic painter. He's part of Redgrass Games. Do check that out. We've got the links going into live chat as I speak, or as fast as Steve can type it in. And always joining us is Steve and Joe, who are once again hunting down those gold stars. And you can see that our last session, the gold stars are back. It was Joe. Joe the Mighty got a gold star. You probably won't get one today.
Why won't we get one today? I wonder.
I wonder. We'll come back to that one. we'll circle around that a few times, and we'll see.
It's just sort of
See, he's stayed himself in minicam so he can hide in shame in that small square box.
But as always, thank you to WizKids for I've hit everything. Thank you to WizKids for supplying the minis. Thank you to Vallejo for supplying the paints, and thank you for Redgrass for supplying the I was going to say the wet palette and the brushes, but you'll see all of their stuff in the videos. So do make sure to check them all out. All of their links are in live chat available for you, and if you're watching this on YouTube, they'll be in the comment section below. But most of all, thank you for watching, taking this time. Hopefully, we'll be able to teach you a few things, because this session, I just showed it, we are learning how to paint the red slard. This is from WizKids Knows All's Marvellous Miniatures range. You've probably seen this before. WizKids have paint sets out on this where you can paint it in the evening. But we managed to get hold of some. We've all got the same mini. That's the purpose of this kind of show, is to all paint the same thing. And for the next basically hour and a half, James is going to take us through the steps on how best to paint it. We'll give it a go. So mine's still in the box, but everyone else has primed one way or another to get started. So at this point, I get to hand the reins over to James. So here you go.
God help us all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said primed. We've all primed it in one way or another, because obviously these models do come pre-primed, as they say on a packet, which is really handy for people who perhaps don't have the time or the inclination to prime it themselves. Personally, I did go over mine again. It's just a force of habit. I like to prime my minis. I know some people haven't, because they're coming straight out of the packet tonight, as you can see with Dave's. And then some people have primed it red.
The red slard.
So, but no, it's actually, different horses for different courses. It's interesting to see how we all end up with different finishes, even though we're all technically starting with the same mini.
Yeah, it does actually. What Joe has done does actually look like a board game box set mini. Yeah, sometimes you get them different colours, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for Joe, obviously, you can have a lot of fun. I think maybe playing with shades.
Yes.
So, for instance, you will have the time, for instance, to maybe do a glaze of dark green for the shadow areas, or dry brushing orange or yellow at the top to kind of bring out those highlight areas. Because I think it was Joe. I think you said it when we were setting up. It's actually a fantastically detailed model.
Yes. Yeah, it's got lots of points where you can highlight and things.
Yeah, so I think without much further ado, let's get started, shall we?
Cool.
Red is one of those colours that kind of is scary to some people, but it's such a prevalent colour in miniature painting that it's just good to try and get a little practice in.
Cool. I am going to flip my cameras around. There we go, so everyone can see. Apologise for the noise as I rip this thing open. I didn't make any noise. There we go. That was a nice quiet one. Normally, it's a horrible plastic noise. Here we go.
So I know we've all got different ideas. I said before we started the stream, I was going to experiment and I was going to use some of the contrast paint, the base red for this slard.
Okay.
Obviously, I know quite a few companies now do essentially what are quick shades. So Army Painter has just released some as well, I think.
Is that the speed paint stuff? That
Yeah,
they call it?
yeah, that's right. But at the end of the day, they're all essentially kind of the paint equivalent of an ink, so you can, you know, get a lot of coverage quite quickly. I'm just putting in a bit of medium because you can use speed paint straight out of the pot, but I prefer to have them a bit thinner so that they don't pool as much.
Yeah, I'm interested in those Army Painter ones. They look quite good.
I've seen a few people on obviously YouTube tutorials and things being sent samples.
Mm-hmm.
And they do look interesting, and they actually do look different to the Citadel ones as well. They're not just copy.
Yeah, I saw a side-by-side comparison for a whole bunch of them. Yeah, look quite interesting.
So with red's an interesting colour because it's a primary colour. It's not so easy to highlight or low light, and so I would always advise starting with the darkest red you've got as your base colour, and then you can highlight with a brighter red rather than, you know, add white, for instance, which is a popular technique with other colours, but it won't work with red because if you add white to red, you'll get pink.
Get pink.
And if you add yellow, you'll get orange. So that might not be what you're aiming for. So tip number one, if you're painting red, start with the darkest red you've got, and then that gives you a bit more leeway when it comes to highlighting red.
And you are literally just slabbering this all over. Is that right, James? You're just going the full mini.
Very little grace involved.
Yeah.
The only thing I say is obviously with this kind of paint, not actually base coat in general, is to try and avoid going over an area you've just painted.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of watch your brush strokes because it will catch, and these paints are quite thick, and it will drag, and it will leave horrible kind of undesirable brush marks that you don't want. So where possible, kind of watch where you brush. And then you won't have to do quite so many do-overs. We're not really looking for texturing on the base coat. So I do really enjoy texturing, but for this stage, it's not what we want. We just want a colour down. But for the folks at home, good dark red to start with. Probably something like Flesh Terror's red, which is the one I'm using right now, or Mephiston red would be good from Citadel.
Yeah.
Gory red from Vallejo is good.
Yeah, I'm using gory red actually.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
Yeah, it's a nice.
You could even start with a nice dark red brown, like Hull red or Cavalry brown from Vallejo. I like using those as rust colours, but brown is obviously quite a nice dark colour that you can use for red as a base coat. Depends entirely on what you're painting, I guess, because Slard is such a fantastical creature. It doesn't matter if we end up with a really vibrant red, because it's a fantasy creature. I did do some reading up on Slards. Can't remember which, if it's in Volos or Mordekaine's, but pretty horrific lore to them, actually.
There's some
They
great
are.
stuff. Yeah, there's So in Salvatore's latest Drips book, there's the new trilogy. Basically, book 1 came out winter last year.
Yeah.
And they're kind of going up to the spine of the world, Icewind Dale, and they hit this kind of pocket of ice. And one of the characters is fighting what he thinks is a lone frost giant.
Right.
And he's kind of winning, and he takes a bad hit, and he stumbles, and then he realizes he's not alone. There's someone else behind him, and he gets attacked by a slard.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit
Unexpected.
yeah. Where did that come from? What was the reason for all that? So then I started looking into the history of them, and yeah, it turns out that's also how they spread their race. So that with their giant claws, because they've got really big claws,
Yeah.
they impregnate you, and you slowly turn into a slard.
Yeah. Please
Oh,
see
wow.
an Alien series.
Yeah. And I was like, oh wow, this turned into something pretty vicious, which is essentially looks like a giant frog on 2 legs, basically. But suddenly it became very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think some of the monsters you look at and you go, yeah, that just doesn't look frightening for me. So my players will look frightening, but actually, yeah, once you start looking into, as you say, the lore of characters, of monsters, it's a lot more scary than you think.
Yeah. Well, also, I just think that's good practice for when you're painting. Like, it's really good for motivation, as in like deciding to actually paint something.
Yeah.
You get excited to paint it, and then also it just can help inform your decisions about color schemes or basing. Because if I was talking about basing tonight for a slard, I would have said, maybe go for a jungle scene, because I'm thinking of like rainforest tropical frogs, but
Yeah.
actually you've just mentioned, why not a frosty scene, and it will mirror what you've just been reading about.
Yeah. I kind of like that though. You could kind of do like an Amazon tree frog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do different colours on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like spots or
quite-
something.
Quite an interesting end product, I think.
Well,
Well, I think
what if you
those are
played it?
super
Because the slides are intelligent. So what if you could? That was your character race, but you were you look like a tree frog.
I wonder if, because they're adding a lot of playable races in the later Modern Times book, aren't they?
I think
It's due out soon.
anything that's kind of a humanoid in shape and is intelligent to use weapons and armor or magic is now up for grabs. Can be a playable race.
Yeah, because they've taken away all the negatives, haven't they?
Yeah.
I suppose that's quite exciting because it gives you a lot more scope as a player as to what you can be.
Yeah.
So I never really liked the idea that drow were always evil.
Yeah. Just because they're drow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did a one-shot last year where I played a sort of, I suppose, like Drizzt. It was a drow, but they kind of rejected all of the kind of matriarchal, underdark, evil stuff. And so they were kind of almost creepily cheerful
Yeah.
in compensation, because they were like just trying to say, hey, we're not all like that. But obviously it backfired a lot because people just thought it was some sort of ploy. And it was like, no. They are genuinely just trying to be happy and helpful. So the comedy kind of derived from that mismatch of expectation and reality. I will say what I don't really like about quick paints like these is how glossy they are. Some people like glossy paints. I'm very definitely on the matte side of paint, I think. But horses for courses.
I like the idea that see with it, these are the only paints I've got. Again, thank you Vallejo. But the we've because I haven't kind of experimented and this is still a new hobby for me, then that is still kind of to pick up and learn. But what I like is that my minis, the ones which I think I've painted well for a beginner, I think they look like toys out of the box.
Yeah.
And they still look pretty good, like fresh.
Yeah.
With the kind of the more shiny paints than the matte paint.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it does definitely depend on what you're going for. And again, like I said, with these slards, because they are such a fantastical race, you do get a lot of leeway and scope for how you want to paint them, how you want them to look, what kind of finish you have. I mean, actually, if this ends up looking glossy, I think that ties in really nicely with our rainforest tree fog idea.
Yeah.
Because obviously they are very glossy in nature, in our nature.
Yep.
How's everybody getting on?
All right.
Pretty good. I've done most of him. His head and the back of his head and his shoulders, they're very textured.
Yes. So you do have to kind of change the angle of your brush into all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my wash to dry.
Living on easy street tonight, Joe.
Yeah.
So do you just paint over his whole face, his eyes, his teeth, everything?
I am, yeah. But obviously I'll go over with things like eyes and teeth, because they're more opaque. I would go over those with a normal paint anyway, and I wouldn't use contrast or quick shades or so. It doesn't matter for me right now if I cover them in red. Some paint colors are easier to paint over than others. Red's generally quite all right to paint over the top of. Colors like black can be a lot harder to paint over. God forbid you ever have to base something in black and then paint yellow over the top.
Yeah. Yep. Thinking of my mate Will's at Eldar Army, who's primarily yellow.
Oh, is it Eandon or Bieltan, where it's a lot of yellow and blue?
Yep. Yeah, one of those BS yellow and blue is his colour scheme.
Not fun. Although, apparently the best way to paint yellow is to start with pink. Because you can see more easily where you've got even and smooth coverage, which I thought was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I've not tried it myself because normally I just use an airbrush. If I need to get a nice smooth coat of yellow.
Airbrush is still something I have not yet tried. Mainly because I don't have one. But Steve, I know you've been quite impressed with the airbrush that you got, so I might get one of them. So I think that would be the easiest thing for me to try.
What one have you got, Steve?
I've got a tiny portable one because I didn't want a large compressor.
Yeah.
So I just have that. Oh, so there you go. That's mine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you can get them on Amazon, right?
Yeah, I didn't buy that from Amazon. I bought that from another website, not on the high street or something like that. But it comes in a kit. You get the pen, the portable compressor, 2 batteries, and the batteries last for about half an hour. So you can charge one up while you're using the other one, and it's great. I use that for priming everything now, and I use it for painting terrain.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, it makes all the difference in winter in this country, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't go outside to spray paint.
Yeah.
And I think I would rather give up painting than brush prime everything.
I have a garage, and I used to go in there and prime everything if I needed to spray paint.
Okay,
My tortoise hibernates in there, so I don't use it.
Yeah, I ran outside, sprayed it, and then brought the whole thing inside and put it in my own cupboard so it dried quicker.
Very nice. Yeah, you know, it's a British modeller when they look outside and they go, "Oh, if I'm quick, I could just prime something."
Yep.
Okay, I think he is nicely covered. I think I'll go, no, back of the thumb.
Yeah, I've got myself a red slard, so brushes down. Let's call it done.
Yep. Whew, right, gold star time.
You going for a grey slard, Steve?
And for blue slide.
Okay.
Well, it will be blue. But I'll zoom in. There you go. Just dry brushing it.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's kept the details really nicely as well. I love dry brushing. Such an underrated technique. There's a lot of snobbery involved around dry brushing, it feels, sometimes.
Yes. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, me too. In fact, I've got my dry brush ready later.
Right, so I'm he is painted, he is drying. What do you recommend the next steps are then?
Well, I'd probably go for tooth and claw. So
Okay.
decide what colour eyes you want, what colour teeth you want, and obviously, what colour nails do you want? So I'm thinking probably go for green eyes, because I think obviously green is a nice contrast to red on our colour wheel theory.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think there's a nice kind of alien, tropical vibe to that kind of tree frog jungle green eye thing.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do for the eyes, I think.
I'm gonna do what I always do and try and stay classic to the artwork on the back. So those are black fingernails, talons, and toenails. So I'm gonna go black toenails. He's got red eyes. Bad teeth.
That's
So
eyes,
we'll go
hasn't
with
he?
that.
He's got a red eyeball and a black iris.
He has a
Cactus
snake.
shape.
Yeah, he has a snake eye kind of thing. So let's try start with black, I guess. So, James, how is things with Redgrass? What are they up to at the moment? What's any new Kickstarters we should look out for?
Yeah, well, hopefully we're all on track for the lamp Kickstarter this year.
Cool.
Which will be very exciting. Vivian's been beavering away with a physical copy of the lamp, which is very exciting. And then, the next step will be the Kickstarter for that once it's ready to show off.
Nice.
And then the first physical copies of the V2 wet palette that we did the Kickstarter for last summer have come through. to the point now that they're happy for that to be the mass production model. So,
Oh wow.
so people are going to be getting their pledges very soon, hopefully. Obviously, there's been a lot of logistical difficulties. Obviously, we were talking about before the launch, before our session tonight. Kickstarters in general can take a very long time.
Yeah.
And just in the last couple of years, it's been especially hellish because of supply chains and shipping and whatnot.
It has been terrible. Yeah.
So hopefully this is good news that people wanted to hear. And then obviously at the moment we have the new glass palette and the new painting mat, which I'm currently using.
And the painting mat is also a cutting mat, is that right?
That's right, yes. Yeah. It's double-sided. So, I mean, for
Oh,
instance,
right.
I like to use one side for cutting and airbrushing, so it gets all dirty. And then I like to use the other side for painting, keep it relatively clean. But yeah, it's everyone who's tried one so far has been happy with it, which is great. And yeah, I love the glass palette, but I like using oils anyway. So it's nice to have a reusable palette for oil painting, but you can use it for pigments and heavy body acrylics as well. If you use the Scale 75 Artist range, for instance, they're a very heavy body acrylic, which probably aren't great on wet palettes, but they do work very nicely on the glass.
Cool. Yeah, I saw Don has been very happy with his.
Yes.
And then I saw his. We were talking about his video, where he put the glass in the top of his extra large palette in the lid.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow.
But
So
I don't know if you
happy.
remember. I think when we, I think maybe the first time I ever came on the show, we were talking about the inside lid of the palette.
Yeah.
And Vivian and Fabrice, when they first came out with the palette, had always intended for the lid to be used as a dry palette. And they just never saw anybody use it like that. So they stopped kind of pushing that feature.
Yeah.
But I wonder if now that Don's kind of struck upon this idea, if it will encourage more people to do it, because it's obviously a very clever way to save space.
Yeah.
Because a lot of hobby spaces aren't that big.
Well, the other thing we've done is when he came on here and we were talking, he's a fantastic guy, fantastic artist. If you're listening to this, go check out his videos. Absolutely fantastic. He's we showed him the red grass magnet on the lid, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea." And then lo and behold, he stuck his one on his lid now. It's like, yeah, look, it's catching.
You're pioneers. That's what you're
Trendsetters. Yeah.
We're influencers. Beginner artists influencing pro artists. That's what we like.
I think it speaks a lot to the fact that nobody's really truly done learning, and that we can all learn from each other constantly. I think the day that you decide you don't need to know anything else, painting or otherwise, is the day that your brain dies. So I think it's great that Don can teach you and you can teach Don.
Yeah.
I've just for people at home, I've base coated the teeth in a sort of reddy brown colour. It was cavalry brown from Vallejo, and then I will slowly build up that mix, probably with ice yellow, to kind of have a off-white yellowish mouth of teeth. Because I don't like to paint pure white teeth, especially not on a beastie.
No, he looked like he said that. I don't like it on TV presenters when all you can look at is the brightness of their teeth.
Yeah,
it's very odd.
Their turn.
Yeah.
And I think for the talons, because Dave used the word talon, and I think that's the best word for it, I am going to base coat it in one of my favourite colours of all time, which is Abyssal Blue from Scale 75. Abyssal Blue, which is actually kind of it's almost like a charcoaly grey black, but it shifts, so it's really good for greens, blues, whatever. So and I would try to avoid using pure black, especially as a base colour, because then you've got nowhere to go.
It is. I'm always blown away by the amount of detail that once you put some paint on something, it just picks up everything now.
It all just starts to pop out, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, especially these newer D&D models.
Yeah.
They are leagues ahead of what they used to be. I don't know. Maybe you know. I'm not sure what the difference is between the different ranges of WizKid models are. Like if there is a sculpting or quality difference between.
I think they've just improved it over the years, or maybe different suppliers, publishers, manufacturers rather, and they just seem to be getting. What was it? We backed one of the. Oh hey, Big Tough Pete. Yeah, we're painted, dude. You need to come and join us. I can't remember, Pete, if you were a painter or not. You need to come and join us. Where was I going with that? Fantasy from Blacklist Games.
Blacklist Miniatures.
Blacklist Miniatures.
Yeah.
Their fantasy series, and Steve finally got round to starting to paint them, and he sent me. We did a Crimson Ogre for a story.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like the belly of the Slard. The skin, his whole skin has texture.
Oh wow!
And it's just like how it's such a tiny thing, but you can't see it on the model. You can only see it when you put the paint on there. The definition is incredible.
Well, I mean, and that sculpting detail and casting quality was something that was reserved, and not that long ago, was reserved only for the very biggest modelling companies.
Yeah.
Who would charge, obviously, appropriately premium prices. But now, you can get these amazing, almost homegrown Kickstarter projects, or even 3D printing,
Yep.
The level of detail you can get from a 3D printer is astounding these days.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people we talk to, and a lot of them are into their 3D printing, and it's staggering what they can do.
Yeah, the pile of shame grows tremendously.
Joe, how's your 3D printer going?
Yeah, good. It's not a resin printer though, so printing models you won't get the same sort of quality as you would if you had a resin printer.
The FEM.
Yeah. PLA. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like you get a spool of almost looks like wire, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it's good for like printing terrain and things like that.
Yeah.
I printed a couple bits of toys for the kids and stuff. But yeah, you won't be able to get the detail that you'd get from a resin printer for printing minis.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, because otherwise I'd literally have far too much to paint.
Collecting models and painting models are two separate hobbies.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talking of which, I was looking for you at the London GT when we went, because I know it was sponsored by Redgrass.
Yeah, we very barely physically attend, but that's just because we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Not say like we're Legion, but like, some of us are in Switzerland, some of us are in America and whatever, and it's just like, well, we can't say one of you can go and the rest of you can't. It would be unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like us to attend more physical events. I guess maybe we could do some painting workshops or something, but it's all future pipeline stuff, I think.
Yeah, UK Games Expo do it. That would probably be if you don't already do it, that's probably the place to do a workshop, because they've got the space.
Yeah.
There's an incredible amount of space, and I think if you did something like with WizKids and they said, right, here's 1,000 minis, random job block kind of thing, and you just took those and said to people, right, paint. We'll teach you how to paint, and you take the mini home, just like they do in the States.
Yeah.
I think you'd be onto a winner.
Not James, here's 1,000 minis, paint all of them this weekend. What?
Yeah. Yeah, custom jobs. You pay £10, I'll paint it for you.
Maybe the Guinness World Record for the most models painted in one weekend.
Hey, that sounds fun.
So Big Tough Pete is in live chat at the moment. He's part of UGM, Ultimate Games Master Software.
Okay.
And they are hoping to be at UK Game. Is that right, Pete? UK Games Expo this June. We will be there. But if Redgrass, you've got a few months to sort it out. But if you did go as Redgrass, and you need some extra volunteers, we'll be there. We're staying there for the whole period, and it's 3 days. So we're there 3 days, 2 nights. If you need some extra
painting hands,
yeah, when you go on your tea break. We can happily jump in.
Tea breaks are vital.
Oh, yes.
Brew up.
And then we go party in Pizza Hut afterwards.
All you can eat.
Yeah. Although, make sure you book your table in advance. We learnt that lesson.
Book early to avoid disappointment.
Yep. And it also depends if all the hotels are open by then as well.
Well, it's a strange world we find ourselves in, still.
Yeah.
Yes. But when we went to the London GT, me and my mates ate them out of surf and turf.
Oh, wow.
We were there for 3 nights and all we ate was surf and turf. By like the 3rd night, they were like, yeah, we don't have any more.
You have eaten all of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have eaten the sea. I thought these thorny bits on his back and the back of it, like his elbow, would have been easy to paint, but actually they're quite fiddly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting.
Because you have to keep changing your brush angle to get every bit.
Yep.
But it's thorny bits like that are fantastic for dry brushing.
Uh-huh.
Because they catch in just the right way.
Yeah, it's picking up. was worried that because the red that I'm using is only like a shade or two lighter, that the camera might not pick it up. But I think you can see it. So is everybody up to date with The Mandalorian?
I am. Episode 5 was... Well, no, Joe, no. It's Boba Fett. It's Boba Fett.
I know what I'm saying.
Spoilers. Steve hasn't watched it yet, I don't think.
Have you not?
I've been telling him.
I haven't started yet. I don't ever watch anything until it's finished.
Oh, that's what my boy. Right, I was like, my son loves like Star Wars and stuff like that as well. I was like, right, let's watch Mando, and he's like, no, I'm not going to watch any of it until it's finished. I can't deal with every week and waiting. Yeah, he's like, I want to binge watch all of it.
That's it.
I'm like, I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time, it goes back to not having patience for Kickstarters. So,
Did you just watch it without him?
yeah.
And then binge watch it again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
But pretend you haven't seen it.
Yeah. That was...
Episode 5 of Boba Fett was just...
It's really good.
Amazing. The Easter eggs and trips down memory lane. The friggin' robot from the computer game was just superb.
Oh, you mean the murder bot from KOTOR?
No, the little two-legged robot that makes an appearance is from the latest Star Wars game, the Jedi game.
Oh,
Fallen Order.
Yeah. So he has a little companion, which is this robot. It sits on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that robot has now made an appearance
Oh, wow.
in the TV series. And it was just... They did it so well.
Yeah.
I was to say, fan service is hard to get right.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, look what it is. My missus was like, who is it? I said, it's the robot. It's the robot from the game. So, yeah, I was geeking out.
No shame in that.
Not on this channel.
Yeah, you've come to the right safe place.
Yeah.
I think it's great though. I mean, because obviously in the last, especially, well, maybe because of the pandemic, I think people have lost their inhibitions a little bit about things that are geeky. So I mean, for instance, things like Warhammer, obviously, never been doing better because loads of new joiners. D&D, never doing better because loads of new joiners. I think people are just a bit more honest about what they want to enjoy in life, and a lot of that involves being a big nerd, which is not an insult anymore.
Yeah. It is literally a case of when you're told you can't see people, which is normally a good thing. People are like, yeah, I get a day at home or something like that. But when you spend 2 years being told don't socialise, don't go to parties, can't go to pubs, restaurants, cinemas. Yeah. You kind of crave a social need.
Yeah.
And finding hobbies that you can geek out on, and which also takes you to the social experience is fantastic. I mean, that's the point of Warhammer, is you paint and play.
Yeah.
So you've got something when you're on your own, paint your models, and whether you do professional or just non-professional, it doesn't matter. You take your toys, your models, and you go play a strategy war game.
Yeah.
And you learn more.
Mm-hmm.
You learn tips and tricks and different combat strategies from the people you watch or who beat you.
Yes.
Which happened a lot.
Yeah.
But that's again, it's the fun of it. As long as you take it in good.
Oh yeah, like
good fun.
My first game on at the London GT was against a person that was like ranked like 80th in like his thing. He came like 7th overall on the day. But like straight after the game was like, let's have a beer. And just like sat with him and just had a drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was his army?
Admech.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I correct in remembering you paint sisters? All right.
Sisters and custodies mostly for 40k. But I mean, these days, obviously, it's whatever catches my eye.
Yeah.
So, like I said to Dave just before we started, I've just painted an Emperor's Champion from the new Black Templar range.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll post a tutorial about that on the Redgrass website this week. But yeah, it's kind of rule of cool for me at the moment because I'm not really army painting at the moment. So
Yeah. Yeah. Likewise, I've painted 2,000 points and then was like, nope.
need a change.
Yeah.
And I go through phases where sometimes all I want to paint is Warhammer. Sometimes all I want to paint is D&D minis. Sometimes I just want to do like 75 mil sort of premium collector models, large scale models.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an ever changing mood. But I think that's what stops me from burning out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got all that variety there, and you can just keep coming back.
I still want to paint some, like you mentioned, the busts and things like that, because I think it's a nice piece of artwork. It's not it's not a war piece. It's not something that goes on a board game. And then at the same time, I love the miniatures you get in board games. Some of them are so unusual. And before we went live on this show, we were talking about Common's Marvel Zombies Zombicide. And that just looks amazing. I would love to paint them, just for the hell of painting them. I think would be absolutely great.
I have signed up for their Kickstarter.
They got you.
They did get me, yeah. Some of the minis that you get in as Kickstarter bonuses are awesome. I sent Dave a picture of Dark Phoenix.
Oh wow!
It's the Jean Grey mini parked in the centre of this Phoenix flames, surrounded as it comes out of the base. It just looks awesome.
And it's that transparent plastic as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can do some really nice flame. Hopefully it's not pre-painted, but you can just do the flame texture on it.
Yeah.
Flame colouring.
Have they told you whether they're pre-painted?
They're unpainted.
Yeah. I love the look of the zombie Hulk, because obviously he's bigger than everyone else. So I think that would be a cool one to.
Have you read any of the comics?
Yeah, I owned a comic shop for 20 years.
Oh wow!
I read all of them.
Had nothing else to do all day, just stood around reading comics.
Yeah, that's what the staff are for. That's what Sean TW used to do. It's like, Dave, why are you reading this? I said, get back to work.
Shut up, slave.
Yeah. I don't pay you to talk.
Just go pack some comics. Bag and board.
I'm guessing it was sort of like if you ever watched Spaced.
I love Spaced.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on Netflix now, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I sense the binge coming on.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh, okay, I need to work on these eyes. Eyes and teeth now. I'm getting into small details. I need a steady hand.
He has very pronounced buttocks.
He's got a great butt crack, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was like,
You just want a bit, put a bit of toilet paper there.
The butt crack.
Bit of toilet paper and a loo roll on the base. That's what you want. Like he's gone camping.
It's like I literally got to highlight it. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to highlight a monster's bum.
You haven't lived until you have.
Talking of which, I've seen, going back to the Warhammer stuff, I've seen an Eldar new model paint scheme where they've literally just painted them in the pair of Speedos. And the rest of it's skin tone colour, so it looks like they're just running around in Speedos.
If you ever need new releases day to be ruined, all you have to do is, sort of go onto Reddit or a meme site. Within 10 minutes, they've already found a way to ruin this beautiful new sculpt with a meme.
Yeah.
I think I need to go brighter, maybe pink.
Do we have a timer, a countdown of how much time we've got left?
We're not even at the top of the hour. It's 5 to 10.
Oh,
So we still have at least 45 minutes.
we don't need to rush. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, if we finish before that time, that's okay too. We don't have to do the full time. But I don't often do. We've done so many minis and then normal human-sized minis. We don't often get to do a larger mini like this.
Mm.
And it's kind of nice because you can see all the texture.
Nice change of pace.
Yeah. So again, if you're a newbie like me who is learning to paint, something like this is great because just with the red and black, I would be happy putting that on my gaming table because that's still just, that's just two colors. Very, very easy to do. The texture of the model is fantastic and just natural light. Putting this on your battle map is going to freak your players right out. Well, it will when they get hit
When they learn what
and impregnated. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to sleep next to them that night in the campfire.
So you read up on some of their sort of lore and stuff. Do you know where they actually come from? Is that remember?
They're I don't think they're actually from that particular plane. I think they come from elsewhere, or at least they have the ability to travel across planes.
Yep.
I think it's Greyslard are kind of extra-dimensional mystics or travelers or something. They have kind of super magical abilities, I think.
Yeah, they have the ability to dimension slide.
Ah, yeah. Fortunately, I've never. Yeah.
We should. This is the new D&D book, Mordecai Nine's. What is it, Steve? Mordecai Nine's Galaxy Monsters or Universe of Monsters?
Monsters, I think it is.
Yeah. That should have more detail in them, I think.
I think they definitely are from another plane because they feature quite heavily in Ryman and Frostmaiden. I think they were on the ship that crashed. I think that's where they come from.
Oh, I've got 1, 2, 3. Let's try this one.
Probably just giving away quite a lot of adventure there, haven't I?
Spoilers.
Yeah, we should probably just at the start of the show be like, yeah, we all drop loads of spoilers left, right, and centre with no warning. So heads up. Anyway, here we go.
If you watch TV, watch films, play D&D, or breathe, be warned that we have spoilers.
Yeah.
Welcome to the brush off. Everything you've ever lived will be spoiled.
Yeah.
But anyone is playing an adventure, one of the characters is actually a little bit suspicious. They're probably infected because that's on the random roll table during the character creation scene.
Yeah. And I think that's quite bad. I mean, you know, that's a level 1 roll for your random background, and you're already infected. It's like knowing you've got the baby alien inside you going, yeah, I can't take a long rest.
I don't know. I love all that sort of stuff, though. The like, not secrets from the rest of your party, but like things that will come out much later, and then the rest of the party go, "Oh, so that's why that." You go, "Yeah." Right.
Well, I got Steve pretty good on Saturday night. Last Saturday night just gone, because we're playing a haunted house, and Steve's character is a non-believer. Everything can be explained as a bad gas.
Natural phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got him right at the end.
It's a bit Cthulhu-esque.
I was going to say, it sounds very much like a Cthulhu character who starts a skeptic and ends raving mad.
Raving lunatic. Yeah. There's still time.
I really like Cthulhu, but quite a lot of my usual play group didn't really like it, so I ended up dropping it. Yeah, because I'd literally just got the ability to summon a demon and hadn't told anyone. And was during our next fight just going to summon one. Yeah, but like, don't worry, guys, I got this. Yeah, so they will be like, what's that? You've seen that they've also just announced that they're making a Halo TV series.
Yeah, it's been on the cards for a while when we had Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's what District 9 turned into, right? Or
Yeah.
no, came from. Yeah. Because they dropped it, didn't they? So they would have made District 9.
He was supposed to, Neil Blomkamp, right? He was supposed to do some more Alien films. There's loads of concept art and stuff with Ripley's character and whatnot.
There was supposed to be another one from the Prometheus. It was supposed to be a trilogy.
Didn't really like Prometheus, if I'm honest.
I definitely preferred Prometheus to the next one, Covenant.
Yeah, Covenant was weird.
It didn't know what it wanted to be, I think.
Yeah.
Covenant.
What I liked about it was that the stuff they introduced in Prometheus and Covenant is all included in the Alien RPG. So that technology, the timeline. So there's some really cool stuff in there. Didn't like the story, but there was some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
They're still going to do it, aren't they? The third one.
I hope so. I just don't know.
I think Ridley Scott's sort of pretty done with blockbusters in general, right? Because of last year's film,
Last Jewel, yeah.
He went on some rant and rave about modern cinema goers and how they didn't deserve him.
Yeah.
So he might punish us all by not doing the next one.
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm taking my ball and going home.
They were mean to me, Mum.
Neil Blomkamp did a series of short concept things, didn't he?
Yeah, Oak Studios.
Yeah, with Sigourney Weaver.
There were some I really liked a lot of them. There were some really good ones. There was a sort of Thing-esque Arctic base that was under attack from a monster that I really liked. That was a good one.
I'm sure they said there was a. Was there supposed to be an Alien TV series as well coming in the works?
Ah.
Because that could be interesting. Do a slow reveal on some aliens.
Yeah, like if they did it, but you didn't know it was an Alien TV series when it started.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And so the next time somebody in the crew starts complaining about stomach problems, you wouldn't assume
that it was an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, that's how they did it in the original film, right? They didn't tell anyone else except John Hurt what was going to happen in the dinner scene.
Yeah.
And so when it did burst out of his chest, people were genuinely shocked.
Well, one of the slides has come out really well, and one didn't. So I'm happy with the attempt.
Oh.
7 pushes in.
I just highlighted a mold line.
I don't think you're going to be able to see it.
You have to zoom right in, I think. I'll pin it and get closer to the computer.
So the eyeball. Can you see that?
I can, yeah.
That's really good. I like the black liner as the eyeliner as well.
Yeah. So again, that's on the artwork on the. So I painted the whole socket black, and then I've just tried to dab the red. It's like a lighter red on the eyeball, and then just a tiny like slit for the eye. But the other side was crap. But that one came out really well.
Well, I think you know which angle you'll be taking your photo from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a good side.
Yeah.
But why does the slide always attack from that side? Well,
He's very self-conscious.
yeah, it's a hunting pattern.
He's got boss eye, and he'd like you not to mention it.
Looks more of an orange than a red. I don't know why it's called Wild Rider Red. And it's obviously an orange.
Orange is often your best bet for highlighting red, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
Unless you want pink.
well, I've highlighted it, but I want to do the like tips. You know, like the real high points.
Yeah.
Gonna go teeth.
So on the box art, he also has some kind of green stripy colouring. So I think I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, just sort of dabs or areas, isn't it?
Yeah.
No real sort of.
There's no way to. It's just do your own paintbrush technique, I guess. But might give that a go.
Now's the time to look up those tree frog patterns.
Yes, indeed. What else is there? I use there.
What's everybody up to now?
I am just sort of doing a mixture of highlighting the lips with a very light orange, but also kind of texturing it by dotting. Rather than drawing a line, I'm just dotting very gently, almost like pointillism, to try and make it look a bit more textured. Because when you look at lips up close, it isn't a straight line. It's kind of, the different flaps of skin. The fear of sounding disgusting, but yeah. I think obviously when we edge highlight things, we edge highlight all the same way, and we shouldn't, because for instance, when you edge highlight a space marine, that's a solid piece of metal with a sharp edge. So obviously the highlight should be different to, say, highlighting the bridge of a nose or the lips of a toad in this case. So I'm trying to add some definition with highlights, but I'm trying to do it differently depending on where I am on the model.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I've done the nails, I've done the eyes, done the teeth. I'm now trying to increase my blue colour by dry brushing over the previous highlights with a blue colour. So I dry brushed in grey and then put a blue ink on it. So I'm just going to put some more blue on, and then I'll highlight again.
Do love a good ink. Can be quite fragile though, can't they?
Yeah.
I am doing teeth.
What colour teeth
I normally go grey, and then like a bone colour over the top.
Oh yeah. Ubshanti. Oh, was it Ubshanti bone?
Yeah.
As long as it's not Xandri dust. God.
Oh mate, I've seen enough Xandri dust to do me now.
Me and Xandri dust do not get on.
That was the colour of my army.
Is that your Necrons?
Yeah, it was yeah, I've seen enough Xandri dust to last me a lifetime.
What colour is Xandri dust?
It's like a khaki sort of sand colour.
Oh, okay.
But it's very thick. It's at least all the ones I ever had. They were always very gloopy and they dried out very quickly. And yeah, I did not get on with them. Maybe that was just me.
No, I had to go and buy another pot because it went like a solid lump.
Yeah. I might be wrong on this, but I heard it from someone else, so blame them. But it's to do with the pigments. So lighter coloured things like beige, tan, khaki, white, the actual colour pigments are larger.
Hmm.
So that might be...
Why?
That's why they tend to have a different texture and finish to other colours.
That kind of makes sense because the black paint is always very runny.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what you're up to. Doing your green.
No, I've decided I'm going to keep it classic and just have one solid colour with black spines. But right now I'm just I'm painting the base because I went a bit quick on his feet, so that a lot of the floor is red.
Yeah.
So I'm just hiding the mistakes. Well,
That's what all painting is.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
going over the red floor with a grey floor. But I'm quite pleased with this one. I do like. I wasn't sure because WizKids have done their own paint night, and there was lots of kind of slards have been painted. But actually, I highly recommend getting one and painting them because they're pretty good. I think it's quite simple. I think I've painted harder things in previous episodes.
I think it's one of those models where you can paint it and you can, it's very easy to paint, but you can also, if you wanted to spend like, a couple of days paint it, there's so much stuff on here that you can pick out.
I think if you bought 2 or 3, and we were talking about the jungle frog skin, you could definitely experiment.
Yeah.
Even if you just painted them in there. Was it red, blue, yellow? What else
Grey.
is there? Is there a grey one?
Hello, Major Phoenix. How you doing, dude?
Okay, Phoenix. Oh, so he's coming along. Look, it's not bad.
That's nice, that.
Okay. There you go. Beginner painter. I need to do his butt crack though.
There's something wrong with dry brushing that particular area.
I'm going to give it. So if I've got some washes, James.
Yes.
So because he's kind of like a dark red at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got the options. I've got is a shadow wash or a brown wash.
I'd be tempted to go for a brown.
A brown wash, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if the shadow might be too subtle otherwise. Plus, brown is obviously quite an earthy, natural colour. It would probably make sense with what we've been talking about with the miniature.
Yep. Right, let's give this a go then.
Green is a fun one to try as well if you've got a dark green.
I've got inks, but this is the only. I've only got a shadow and a brown wash.
I'd definitely go brown then, because
And these are from what are these from? Army Painter.
you know, when people just start out using washes, they only need two, a brown one and a black one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil liquid talent.
Yeah.
And
I
so
was looking for. Sorry, you go.
for applying a wash, you just paint it into like the folds and things.
Yeah, it should, and given its consistency, it should naturally gravitate towards recesses for you.
Okay.
Obviously, the thinner you can stand to make it, the more likely it is to run into ginnels and things.
Gotcha. Sorry, Joe. Go.
I literally painted the whole model, head to toe, in wash.
In wash.
Yeah. And even went and redid a couple of bits, like once they dried.
Yeah, it is important to wait for a wash to dry before you start adding more, because otherwise you get pooling and pulling, and you don't want that.
With my Necrons, I made my own wash in a big jar and literally just dipped them in.
What on a string?
It's like a big sheet dipped style thing. It was like,
Did it work?
yeah,
As in, you were happy?
yeah. It looked very much like Agrax Earthshade was made out of different inks and things.
Yeah. Did you have a drying rack?
Yeah.
You've got a clothesline outside.
So,
Everyone else has got their Grundies out on the air, and there's you with your Necrons. Morning.
very tempted to make his nails almost metallic-esque.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Like a gunmetal.
Like Terminator 2.
Yeah. He is very Edward Scissorhands, though, isn't he? He's got these kind of. There's no way he can. Great for picking something out of his teeth, but.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, James, congratulations! Didn't you say before Christmas you got engaged?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Thank you very much. God knows when we'll actually get married.
Yep.
Given restrictions, but yeah. She pulled the dirty on me.
Ah.
We were at the pub for dinner, and sort of towards the end, she pulled out the bag that had the dog poo bags in it, and pulled out a Haribo ring. Was like, should we get married then? And I was like, is it a joke? She had a proper ring all set up for herself, obviously.
And you were like, but that's a dog poo bag. You want me to eat that?
I'm not putting that on my finger. Yeah. So who knows? Hopefully, maybe May next year. But there's obviously a big backlog of postponed and cancelled weddings to
deal with first. Yeah.
A lot of events obviously have to honour those first. So we'll see. Watch this space.
Are you going to have... I was just thinking, you could paint miniatures of yourselves for the cake.
Yeah,
cake
well...
toppers.
I don't know if you saw, but NRM miniature painting on Instagram. Very talented Danish painter. Nicholas Ruben, I think he's in. He did his brother's cake toppers, and they are wonderful. So I'm sure I sent that to Alice and was like, hint?
Fantastic.
Not sure I could paint my own toppers though. Maybe I'll ask Angel.
It's a good one to ask.
Please, Angel. I don't want to do it because everyone will see it.
Oh man, getting to this like bit of his nail is a pain.
Coming, swinging that back round to Angel, where we've found like a translator, and with Angel being so super busy because he is, one of the ideas is not a standard brush off show, but to do some kind of Buffy and Angel special. I don't know if we can. If you as we'll talk about it offline, but if you as Red Grass would be interested, if you fancy joining us for a
I'm sure
painting session.
Yeah,
we have a brush off between you and Angel.
Oh God, no!
Oh.
I quit now.
Everyone, the gold star is up for grabs for everyone, even me.
And by everyone, you mean Angel.
It all comes down to the painting on the day.
Very true. You're only as good as your last paint job.
I think I went a bit too dark in the butt crack on the wash. It's either that or it's just a big area and it's all pulled in there.
It does.
Joe is a man who speaks of experience.
Where are we? Oh, it's 10:30. We are 15 minutes from the end, unless we're all done. That is still a possibility. But we are 15 minutes.
Yes, like you said, it's one of those miniatures where you could technically be done really, really quickly. Because it is, put red on, done.
Yep.
But actually, I think it does reward going back and doing extra bits.
The wash has made this. I quite liked it red and black, and they're putting this wash on. That's just, for me, that looks like a mini that I've bought pre-painted.
That's great. You can go pride a place.
Yes, Pete, I've washed many of that crack.
Asking the real questions. Is that going to turn up in the Grey report?
Right, let's try that one. I need my thingy back. And also, James, you're going to join us again at some point in March, I think it is, for Cerberus.
Yeah, I can't wait. I remember.
You said you got your mini, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Because obviously, I think I've only ever seen the bigger ones up close.
Yeah.
And so actually to see a sort of standard gaming piece, I'm still really amazed at the sculpt detail and stuff. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. When we painted it, again the definition, as we know, when you paint something, really popped out. It was just incredible.
It makes all the difference for your enjoyment and the kind of the technical you can pull off.
Yeah.
If the sculpt itself is already very strong. But yeah, this will be my first Cerberus Studios model, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
Because it does seem like a fantastic company. Very inventive.
Ben is going to hang out with us. So we had Eric Frankhouse on the first episode of Cerberus, and Benjamin, he didn't paint, but he was telling us all the story, the backstory behind all the characters, and like where the ideas come from, the kind of the gaming format, stuff about the novels that he's working on. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a complete package, isn't it, with Cerberus, with the stories as well.
Yep. So I think that'd be cool. And he's UK based, so again, another one in the same time zone as us, which makes things a lot nicer. And again, someone who goes to the conventions. So even if you just pop up to UK Games Expo, if you're not doing anything as Redgrass, just pop up and let us know when you're there, and I'll introduce you. Mm-hmm. Well, you'll meet him first in March anyway, but
it's always nice to sort of physically put a face to the name.
Yeah.
Especially when, as we've said before, so very little opportunity for that in the last few years.
Definitely. Well, I think I am actually done. I mean, I haven't done any dry brushing yet, but I think I've painted everything I want to paint, and I'm really happy with the wash. The wash is... I don't know if... you can see it on the camera, actually. It's picking up the mottled flesh. The flesh texture, look. Not just the spines, but it's picking up all the flesh. That is really... That wasn't there a minute or two ago. He has got a scabby butt, though. I've just noticed that. He's got a few spots on his bum. He's not looking after himself.
Maybe his pants are too tight.
It's... I wonder if I can do more with that. There's a... I've missed a spine. Figure that one out. I'm actually very impressed with that. If you're watching this, whether it's live or on YouTube, remember to, first of all, remember to subscribe, because that really helps us. But also, we have a variety of brush-offs, painting all kinds of WizKids miniatures. So if you're just getting into the hobby, or you don't know how to paint a particular monster or character, we've got some heroes and stuff in there, heroes and villains, humanoids. Check out our collection. We've got a nice little menagerie of monsters now.
What's your favourite one?
I don't know.
Stumped.
I've got.
Yeah.
I actually quite liked the Pathfinder Battles Alchemist.
The one with the bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the grenade-looking bottles, because they seem to come out quite well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Elementals.
Oh yes. They were
Probably my favourite.
fantastic. I mean, they look like glass.
Yeah, because that's the first time I'd ever used inks. And I enjoyed painting them so much that after we'd finished and turned off Zoom and everything, I painted the other ones.
That seems a pretty
first
standing, doesn't it?
And they also took like no time at all to paint, you know. But were super enjoyable.
Didn't we do like 3?
We did all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't do the
Just
Earth one, did we? We did the other 3.
The fire and the water.
Look at that eye. Pete, can you see that eye? There you go. Got to hold it really still. You got snake eye. Look at that. That's definitely my best eye.
And there's a diary entry.
Yeah. Dear diary, today I painted my best eye.
Just hashtag living my best eye.
We're doing well, it looks like a giant snake then, but we're doing we've got some the next epic encounters. We're fighting snakes, which should be interesting. But why did it have to be snakes?
Yeah. There's going to be lots of that references to Indiana Jones.
Yep.
I'd be disappointed if there wasn't.
You got to, because it's pop culture, and that's exactly what we're all about. So, Pete, would you? How many years have you been painting minis? Because you mentioned earlier that you paint a lot of minis. Are you good? Are you okay? Are you kind of expert, pro?
Share your Instagram, basically.
Yeah.
Awesome, A-star.
No, that's to me, not him.
Oh.
That's to my eyeball.
I thought that was like, do you paint minis? Yeah, I'm awesome. I'm an A-star. Like, yeah, not big-headed at all either.
Pete says he's okay. This is where it's just trying to be modest and.
Yeah, thought was that some Golden Demon-esque model. Yeah, I'm alright.
So Pete, what's your favourite mini? And send us some pictures. Go take a picture of it, put it on Twitter or something, and send it over. With if you ever want to come on, just hang out. This is what we do basically. We just chat and talk about Boba Fett and Star Wars.
Anything except the mini we're supposed to be painting.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
sounds about right.
Okay, we are down to the last 5 minutes.
No, I'm putting mine down and.
Yeah, mine's been down for the past 5 minutes. I think I'm done.
The tool.
I think is it the same? Like everyone's kind of got a slight gap in his teeth.
Yeah.
Like his left big tooth tusk thing is just over a little bit too far.
Yeah.
He's got Madonna teeth.
Yeah.
Just figure out what a base for a bit.
Talking of Madonna, my little sister showed me a video of her kissing Drake. Have you seen it?
No.
I know this is like proper like pop culture reference for like kids and stuff, but like
Hey
Drake,
kids, are you familiar with Drake?
Drake does not look happy. Just throw it out there. Yeah, he doesn't look very best pleased.
Not into it.
I think I'm happy with that one. I'm happy. Now we need a game of a slard.
Oh shoot! That's annoying. Just noticed a big smear of black on his knee where I was painting the nails.
That's nothing. Wait until you look back at it 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, when you
That's when you find you've missed everything.
yeah. I can't remember what it was. I was painting. I think it was on brush off, and I got to the end and was like, I think I painted everything, and then there was just a whole white panel.
Yeah. You turned it round. Forgot to turn it back.
Yeah.
That was in the shield main or something. It was inside the shield. You forgot
Yes.
to paint.
The clue was in the name, you know.
Thank you,
I
Major
painted the
Phoenix.
outside.
Major
Painted the
Phoenix.
outside. Sorry, yeah.
Major Phoenix is saying good things about me, so we'll say good things back. Thank you. And welcome. Yeah, I need to get some bigger ones. We've still got those zombie ogres, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
We need to do those. Big Toff Pete, get yourself a WizKids zombie ogre. If you've got one that's unpainted. Let's paint that. Yeah, let me know.
DM me, hun.
Yep. Let's do some painting. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the brush off, and the brush off means that James, who is our visiting pro artist, gets to judge us. So we are all various degrees.
Our painting. Just to clarify.
Yeah, just gets to judge us in general.
So
You've made poor life decisions.
yeah, judge our painting skills. Now we're all various degrees of beginner, and just to point out there, I have the least amount of painting hours.
We starts with this caveat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's straight in with the excuses, yeah.
Straight in with the take pity on me. But I'm learning. So
I think you should judge first.
well, I was going to go to
assuming
James.
everybody's done. I was just going to wait.
Yeah, we're going to go to James first. We're waiting for Joe to fix his knee.
Oh, I'm not doing my knee. You didn't tell us paintbrush is down, so I've carried on painting.
Yeah, we said paintbrush down 5 minutes ago.
No, you didn't. You said it's almost time, didn't you?
Right, time is now. Paintbrush is down.
How can you take the longest? You basically started with it red.
Red. He's made it pink. Okay, James, let's have a look at what it should look like.
Oh, I don't know about what it should look like, but hang on. Can I get? See, my lighting setup is terrible. Can you see that?
Yep,
See that,
it's
yeah.
coming in.
So
Yes.
we've got obviously the contrast.
Those eyes look awesome.
Yeah, they
thank
do.
Oh, we need to pull it down just a little bit because we're watching it on Zoom, but on Twitch you're kind of in a frame, so a little bit further down. But you're,
Got me?
yep, there you
Got
go.
me?
Yeah, perfect. So you've got these green eyes?
Yeah, so I did a
Brilliant.
kind of icy blue, and then I used a very thin kind of green color,
Yeah.
and then I've just added fleck of dark green or yellow greens, so that up close it kind of, as you say, looks a bit like a snake's eye with all the little freckles
Yeah.
and whatnot. And then, yeah, not done much to the back, just mostly the contrast and a dry brush, and then the talons are that charcoal black that I mentioned with a purple shade for the dark ends and a kind of creamy bony color for a dry brush highlight on the tips. That's
Cool.
pretty much it, really. I've tried to do some definition around the mouth by dotting my highlight rather than lining it, and around the eye as well. Because I mean, on this model, I think the big thing is probably the eyes.
Yeah.
So they would be a focal point that would draw people's attention, I think. So that's where I've spent most of my time and attention.
Quite handily, just as you were talking there, we have a side panel, and the side panel has just come up with the grey, unpainted version of the red Slav. And you can see
wonderful.
the definition of the eye, you can really see.
Yeah. So
No,
it's a bit glossy. As I said, I would probably prefer it a bit more matte, which I could do if I dry brushed it some more, or if I used a matte varnish. But I think the gloss does work, because as we've said, if we're going for this kind of rainforest frog feel, then obviously they are quite wet and glossy. So if you already use contrast at home, you can pretty much just leave them like this, and you've got that kind of wet effect look without much effort.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I got.
So there you go, folks. That's what it should be. Who wants to go first?
Turn my camera around.
Should we go with Joe with his
Cool. So
Joe looks ready, so it's pin Joe.
his
for mine, I was mainly going for like edge highlighting. Was what I was spent most of my time doing, was just trying to pick out all the highlights. Gave it a wash, and yeah, I started to do gold claws as well. Just it's fallen off my holder. Yeah, I started to do gold claws as well.
Oh, nice.
I was undecided on whether they looked good or not, but yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking up much.
Yeah,
Past my edge highlighting and stuff.
Yeah.
It's only a slightly lighter shade of red.
Where you've spent a lot of time and attention tonight, Joe.
Yeah,
Specifically in that end, derriere.
what the butt? Yeah, like edge highlighting. Yeah, like you said with regards to the. If it's going to focus on.
Yeah.
The lips and stuff, where you're saying about them not being one solid.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
No, that's nice.
That shows up really well now. You've got it closer, actually. You can see the detail.
I think the gold works really well on the talons.
Yeah, because I suppose it's a fleck of colour as well, isn't it? Instead of it just all being red.
It's like an antique kind of gold, which I think fits the atmosphere really well.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's kind of arcane. Nice. Oh yeah, the highlights on the top look really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was going to take a long time to just sit and do, so that's why I sprayed it red first.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever helps you keep it.
Right. Steve, over to you. There we go. Very different.
Wow.
I really like that.
Yeah.
It looks like a sea slard. Can't hear you, Steve.
Yeah. Something from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Steve.
Sorry, I was trying to pin my own mini so I could actually see it. So I started with a black primer that I then did a grey dry brush on, a blue ink, and then I went over with a turquoise dry brush with some blue colour in it, and then I just did 2 shades lighter with white, or 2 coats, going a shade lighter with white each time. And then a very, very light dry brush with a wolf grey, and that was the final highlight I did. So I wanted it lighter on the front rather than on the back, so give it the impression that it's moving towards the light. The spines are picked out in brown parasol brown, so that's a reddy brown, and then I highlighted using bone white, and then right at the tips I put a very, very, very thin coat of Arctic white on, and my eyes, see them, yellow, and I managed to do the very thin black line for the cat's eyes. I'm pleased I didn't screw up.
Nice.
Looks really good, mate.
Your effects are like that, James. I might try and do that one with the stippling.
Oh yeah, please do. I really like. I mean, it's not a red slard, so I don't know.
Red slard.
But I actually really like that. I love that kind of nautical, maritime vibe you've got going. It does look like something almost like it could be out of an H.P. Lovecraft, Innismouth, and the kind of coloration you've got on the talons is wonderful, and it goes really nicely with those kind of dark bluey green, because it's almost like they shift. Those because you use turquoise again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I really like the technique that you did by basically starting with dry brushing rather than finishing. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I love it.
Well done.
Yeah, I picked that off of Don Sorotis' channel actually.
John is a fountain.
Yeah. He does a dry brush, and then what he calls a lazy wash, which is with the ink, and I think it works really well and saves a lot of time because you end up with base color.
It's almost like zenithal priming, but with a brush.
Yes, that's what he calls it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, mate.
That is nice. Right, we didn't see my one then.
Please, sorry.
Forget my one.
No.
Right, here we go. So my one is the full-on colour. So it's just red. He's red with a dark wash. We've got the black spines. So we've gone literally just the... here's his butt crack. We've gone literally the artwork on the back of the box. I did go with the bright white teeth just because he's new. He's not been in the action, and I did manage the eye. So what I've done on the eyes is use a gloss varnish.
Oh, nice.
To make them shine, and you can just see the slit pupil there.
It's a really good eye. I can see why you're so satisfied with it.
I am satisfied, and that's how he always looks at you. So I'm going to eat you. I'm going to get you.
Too right.
Yeah, because if he shows this side, you're just not scared of him anymore. It's like, is he looking at me or is he looking at you? Yeah.
That wet effect on the eye looks really good.
Yeah. No, I'd be really happy with that if I were you.
Yeah. And I think overall, I think as if anyone is a beginner, this is a fantastic mini to paint. That really is. I mean, it's red and black basically, and stick that on your table. Your players will love you or hate you once you infect them.
Yeah.
Or not red and black. Could well be blue or grey or green.
Very true.
So yeah, I think overall that is a great model to have. So we're going to switch back to face cams while James kind of decides on who it's going to be. Now, if you saw our first episode, because this is episode 2, you will know that we have upgraded our brush off we now have these special effects in place. And we have the gold stars up for grabs. So we have a brand new gold star in the middle. And James will get to pick who it is. Joe, you might have to do the drum roll because I think Steve is stuck somehow.
You need like twinkly star sound music whilst the stars flying around.
Steve, you need to switch your cams over.
Right, sorry. I was typing. Now I'm just failing to find. Oh, yes,
There you go.
I'm done now. Right.
And then where it stops, no one knows, apart from James. It goes round and round and round. This is for bragging rights only. The winner of the second gold star is... I need to hand you like an envelope. There you go.
Oh,
there it is. Have a napkin.
Oh, it's my dry brushing napkin.
It looks like you've got blood on it.
Yeah. Murdered many people with this napkin.
I mean, that's how you get good in painting.
It's sacrifices.
Everyone who's just watching this is like, why is there a star spinning around and around?
And the winner is Steve.
Steve! Of course I did. We knew that as soon as we saw
deserved.
that was
Very
phenomenal.
Yeah, well deserved is the right
Yes.
is the right way to do it. I think such a novel take on it, and technically so well executed as well. You know, if you look at somebody else's painting, you go, "I wish I'd painted mine like that." That's a strong winner. So
Yeah.
I looked at yours, Steve, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I'd painted mine like that." So
Well,
yeah, well done. I think that's a solid winner, and that's not to denigrate Dave and Joe's paint jobs at all. So, you know,
Agreed.
to beat those, I think says a lot about what you did tonight.
Yeah.
thank you very much. That's awesome. I'm well chuffed.
Well done, Steve. Well done. So it's 1 to Joe, 1 to Steve, and 0 to me. But hey, there is time
You've got a gold star in the Cerberus Studios.
in the Cerberus Studios, which was I was amazed. But I'll take it because it's bragging rights, and that's what we're about. So, thank you, James, for joining us once again. It's always great to have someone in the same time zone, as we keep saying. And we will, you will be seeing James again in March as he appears on our Cerberus brush off. As we look at. It's kind of a series we're calling the Introduction to Cerberus Studios. Make fantastic minis. If you like Spartans and Roman kind of stuff, the miniatures are gorgeous, amazing. And there's backstories and novels and a whole RPG game coming. Fantastic. And they're based in the UK. So if you go to Dragon Meet, if you go to Salute, if you go to UK Games Expo, that is where you will find Cerberus Studios. So do check this out. Thank you, as always, to WizKids, Vallejo, and of course Redgrass for supplying everything that they supply. And until next time, it's goodbye.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Joe's already gone.
Bye.